As a New Yorker and an avid sports fan, there are a few locations I enjoy going to other than Madison Square Garden. It's referred to as the Mecca, the world's most famous sporting arena, and legends such as Walt Clyde Frazier, Michael Jordan have played there, and current all-stars such as Carmelo Anthony, Tyson Chandler, and Amari Stoudemire grace the courts. It's home to the New York Rangers and the New York Knicks, but it also hosts events such as recording artists Jay-Z, Bon Jovi, Britney Spears, and its events such as talent shows, magic shows, and it also is home to the St. John college basketball players during their tournaments and stuff. And they have a home court out in Queens, but they play there for their tournaments. It's located on 7th and 8th Avenue from 31st to 33rd Street, and it sits atop Penn Station. And when they originally constructed the original Madison Square Garden, there was a huge controversy over tearing down the old Penn Station, and it actually led to the development of Preservation Corporation for city works and things like that. But the current location on 31st opened up on February 11th, 1968, and it's owned by James L. Dolan, who also owns Cablevision, is an entrepreneur, and has ventures in many facets in the entertainment world. So it's the oldest active major sporting facility in the New York area, like 5 boroughs, and especially since the New York Yankees just moved their stadium and they constructed a new one, it is like the oldest standing one that still houses athletic events. It's gone through many renovations, and it's gone through a couple different locations until it settled on this particular one in 1968. And the first renovation occurred in 1989 to 91. And the second renovation is currently going on from 2011 to 2013, which they expect to be finished up. The reason for the renovation is to increase the seating capacity, which will basically take it from about 19,000 seats to 21,000 seats. And also, it's going to increase the accessibility via the train, taxi, the highway, stuff like that. So it's making it a little bit more like tourist and stuff like that, so they're not so like overwhelmed by the place. And the total renovation has cost an upwards of $1 billion, which is kind of outrageous because originally the building only cost $123 million to construct in 1968. So they're basically putting more money into it now than they actually did to build it. The dimensions are 820,000 square feet, and it holds anywhere from 16,000 to 21,000, and it varies because there's basically during a basketball game, the court takes up much more space, whereas in a concert, like a Jay-Z concert, they can use the floor space and put seats in there because the concert stage is actually much smaller than the basketball court, so that's why it varies. It's also a major tourist attraction, and people come from all over the world to see Madison Square Garden. Also, there's other things down in 31st, 33rd Street area, 42nd Street, etc. So it's like it's kind of like a tourist hub. And also just the average New Yorker loves to see it, and they love to go to sporting events, myself included. I first went there for Christmas when I got tickets to the New Yorks with my brother, and I fell in love with it because you see many different facets of the community. You see upper class, you see lower class. Well, not lower class, but people who sit on the court side and they have box seats, and then also you just have the nosebleed, which is a section at the very top of the arena where people tend to get a little more belligerent and really get into the game, but they're actually more the sports fan than the person who's sitting in a suit and tie. The accessibility through Penn Station is the ACE trains, the 1, 2, and 3 trains, so all 5 boroughs can get there. You can also take the taxi, you can take your own personal car, although it's not recommended, especially on sporting events nights, because you're going to be stuck in traffic from Midtown Manhattan to Lower Manhattan, and you're probably going to be late for the event. Then you have to find parking, so it's not a good idea. Now, MSG is a piece of New York's identity as much as the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building, the former World Trade. And the reason for this is because it's gone through many renovations, it's gone through relocations, it's gone through controversy, and people, just like the average New Yorker who's gone through good and bad times, Madison Square Garden still stands strong, and it's still there, and it's an identity that New Yorkers identify with and tourists come to see, and hopefully it remains there for a long time to come.